So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on the adventures of Lindsay and Jimmy. Jimmy decided to tear the bed off the truck yesterday, so we get to fix this thing. In the last video, if y'all seen it, it broke that off there, which that's not right. It wasn't right whenever I bought the truck. Can't really weld to that frame. It needed to be bolted. So Jimmy's not at all at fault, but it broke that up there. It broke this one right here. It was barely hanging on here, which I don't see how it was hanging on at all. And this one was nearly broke too. But the problem is, it's not so much the bed breaking off. When it shifted so hard, it snapped the fitting off on the pump. The pump's right on the other side of that frame, and it broke one of the fittings off. So that's going to be the hard part. So we're going to use the excavator to get this thing raised up somehow, I hope, and try to get that broke fitting out of the pump and access the damage. But what I'm going to try to do is actually bolt the frame of the dump bed to the frame of the truck and get it done right, because those welds aren't going to hold. So this is going to be fun. Do first. All right, so y'all can see this is bent. This is bent pretty good right here, so we're going to try to get this bumped over and that welded back in place, and maybe this, because this should weld back to that. Maybe it don't look like they had any penetration at all right there. We got to get this thing somewhat situated before we go to picking up on it, otherwise the bed's just going to completely fall off. But we got the welder here. We spent all morning trying to get it back running. It ain't been ran since I did the dozer root rake, and had a bunch of bad gas in it, so it should be good now. So yeah, let's get this thing set up and get ready to weld that back in place, hopefully. All right, we're going to try to push this thing over and see what it does. It may just break the whole thing off, who knows. Is that good? Get out and check that. I had to kind of push down and over because the excavator kept wanting to pick up on it.
Look at the other side over there. It looks pretty good.
That straightened up pretty good, didn't it?
Only thing I see.
Oh yeah.
Only thing I see different is right here. Looks like you got more hanging over on this side.
Yeah.
Do that side. It may have always been like that.
Yeah. Plus too, we get this done, we can square the front side up too. May just not be square.
How do we
Yeah.
get this back in square?
Huh?
How do we get this back in square?
Eyeball it.
Just trust it.
I don't know.
That's where it is.
Yeah. We'll do it right there. It looks good. We'll just gouge that out real good right there, and then I'll weld it up. Probably need to gouge this other side.
Why don't you bump it right there one time and see if that plays in there?
How am I going to get in there?
Okay, there.
I got that welded best I could. That metal is so thin. On this part, it just kept kind of blowing through, but I tried to blend it all in there the best I could. On the other side, it was even worse. It's hard to weld dirt and paint, but another thing I forgot until I was halfway done is make sure you turn your disconnect off on your machine, because it was touching the dump truck. When I hit my head on the bucket, then I realized what I had done. So maybe this thing isn't fried. It shouldn't be. All right, so we didn't fry the machine. What we're gonna do now is throw a chain over the bed. See if we can't get this bed picked up. Is high enough just to see the pump fittings. I don't know how he thinks I'm gonna hook to that chain though. I guess I'll have to climb over in there. Be a good time to remember all those times he wrote me up for nothing. Hey, how you gonna get out of there? Pillow.
Take it down, boy. You take care of this.
All right, that should be high enough to get to the pump. If I can scotch it right there, I can get him back out. All right, we're trying to put some scotches under it now. Somehow Jimmy's right out of there. I can get it to just kind of stay. What's it looking like?
Go!
Alright. Hey, watch out. I'm gonna put my bucket under. Okay, should be good right there. Now let's go look, see what the damage is on the pump. Alright, so let's see what the damage is here. Yeah, my bucket's up under it good, so this is what happened. When this bed broke and shifted over, y'all can see the pump right there, and it broke the fitting. Just broke that fitting off. I think we're gonna get lucky. So it's just that MPT fitting right there, and I hope we can get that out. Jimmy, we should have brought them big sockets. I think we got a socket that fit that. All right, so y'all see the damage right there. So maybe Jimmy got lucky and I don't have to fire him after all. I was afraid I was gonna have to replace that hose, which is not a very long hose, but I like watching old people work. You do it a lot. Is that broke? Yeah. What? Those right there broke. Ram. Ain't no telling what we're gonna find. Ram. If we can get that pump fixed, we can raise this bed up. Fix all this stuff while we at it. We might as well. You were letting me drive a death trap. Son, you got to start small. So me and Jimmy's pulling up here at Rook's place to steal some tools. I finally get to feel like what it is to be him for a day. His guys show up at my place stealing stuff, so me and Jimmy showing up and stealing his stuff. Alright, so we just got back from the store. They didn't have any ease outs big enough to fit the fitting, but we found this little thing. I had never seen one. Some of you I'm sure have, but this thing cams over when you spin it. So we're going to try it to get this fitting out. This box comes out. Jimmy, you gonna sit over there? You gonna sit over there and mess around? Alright, so we couldn't find the ease out big enough to fit this. And I'm afraid this ain't even gonna fit it either. Jimmy, we may have a problem. I don't think this is gonna fit it either. Ruh-roh. Well, crap. Nope. Well, you wasted your money on that. Too small. Gosh almighty. No, I dropped it. There it is. Well, I don't know. Because we actually tried it on our fitting here that we bought. That we thought was big enough. Here's the fitting. Our may got the wrong fitting. Then we got our fitting here and tried it inside of that and it worked just fine. So yeah, it fits that great, but
Take that fitting we bought and see if it's right.
I don't think it is. Yeah.
You just want to hold your mouth right.
So we had to go to Harbor Freight yesterday and find these pipe nipple extractor set. This is not quite fitting down in there. This size is way too small, so I don't know. We're gonna try Tell you what, this has turned into a pain trying to get this little broke piece out of here. I don't know, we're gonna try to hammer that down in there, maybe try to get it out. I just don't understand what the deal is, why this fitting is so much different from the one we bought when it's supposed to be the same thing. And I just dropped that and I ain't got a clue where it went. But I got to get some measurements of this rail so we can get some U-bolts. I think what we're going to do is tie some U-bolts to this. I know the bed will be sitting up a little bit proud, but I don't think it's going to matter with it being all the way up here. I think it's going to be fine. We'll just have to see, because there's no holes right here and I don't have a way to drill through that frame. That's a double wall frame, so that's what we're going to try to do. Now whether or not we can find some U-bolts is the next question. So we couldn't get the ease out down in there, couldn't get the socket on it, so we're going to try this.
Alright,
see if you can tighten that.
well, I tried.
Well, you spin it and I'll push on the...
Alright.
Any tighter?
Yep. Alright.
You ready?
Yeah. Keep it down.
Gosh almighty. That didn't work.
You ready?
I don't know.
Now you put more pressure on it than me and you could have put on it, and it didn't budge.
Be nice if I could see. Cutting it more than I realized. Alright, so I've been hacking away at this thing and got one side of it cut out, as y'all can see there. I'm going to take my chisel. See if I can't get the rest of it. Hey Jimmy, can you hand me one of them ease outs? Have you got a never mind. Don't even need that.
Is it coming out?
Yeah, it's coming out. I finally got you out of the way.
It's about time.
Laid hands on it. Tried to give you an opportunity to fix your mistakes, and I had to do it all as usual. Hand me that
I'm just glad you got it out. You're starting to have an attitude. I wasn't liking it.
Well, you know, if I would go the right way, I could already have it out. Instead of going left, I was going right. Hand me that ease out in between that biggest one. Yeah. May need a socket to put on it real quick.
Socket?
Yeah, socket now.
Now let's get all the sockets up.
Well, I didn't tell you to put stuff up. And there she is. Oh, and before anyone panics, Jimmy did shove a towel down in there. Just got to be careful getting that out so the metal and all that don't fall off in the pump.
What's that, Pete?
I do. You can stay. All right, so I got some needle nose to get this rag and metal out. Oh yeah, perfect. So the little saw blade trick worked. So basically I just cut down the side of each side of those threads, and then chiseled it out and broke it out, and then this right here is all it took finally. $3,000 later. I can't turn you into a YouTube star if you don't turn the camera on.
If it wasn't for me, we wouldn't have nothing to be filming.
That's good. That's true. And I'd have a whole lot more money too.
We ain't worried about money. I got a credit card.
You say that.
I got a credit card.
When Caterpillar comes repos all this equipment. God, this is gonna be hard to get tight.
Can you get that crescent between down in there like that?
Yeah, well,
Well, it don't take a crescent, does it?
it's not in a good spot. You just had, like, how do you break a fitting off right here?
I reckon it's doggone frame.
It's
right
almost
here.
like somebody had to tear the frame off the truck to. God almighty.
It was inevitable.
Inevitable.
This would happen. I just wish you had been driving it.
I don't, because I'd have been even more mad.
So you look over me.
I don't mind when somebody else tears stuff up, but when I tear stuff up, it pisses me off even more. Alright, so I'm going to try to get that a little bit more tighter, maybe one more round. That should be good. Alright, Jimmy put a whole roll of thread tape on here, so we're going to see if we can't get her sealed off now. This hose may not last. It feels pretty dry rotted.
You know where that came from? Your little stuffing?
What?
I found a pair of underwear in the back end of your truck. Back seat. I cut them up.
I remember her.
They were jockeys,
I
so
hope Carly don't see that.
they were jockeys, so I forget it a wonder.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, you turned it. You turned that.
I guess we can put some oil in it and see if it'll raise up. Alright, we got the truck fired up. Gonna let the air pressure build up. and then we're gonna see if this thing will raise up. I'm not sure how much fluid. We'll see if we can at least get it raised up to add some fluid to it. That way I don't have to try to lift up on it with the excavator again. I think we're leaking. All right, so it raised it up pretty good, but I still think we've got a leak somewhere.
Oh, I see it. You see it?
Huh?
You see it?
No.
It's leaking
It's leaking out of the pump.
right down there.
Well, shoot. I think our problem just got a whole lot worse. Like it's leaking out of the pump itself, out of this linkage. Oh me, oh my, oh. This $100 cat oil in it. I didn't spray that much out. You got the cap for the bucket?
Right there. What's that for?
Golly.
It is.
Yeah, we'll put some more in it then.
It's almost empty.
Well, it can't be.
Well, I mean, how long has it been since you put any in it?
When we worked on the pond?
How much was in it then? Did you check?
No.
No wonder that pump's screaming. Come on.
We're gonna put it all in there and it's gonna blow out of the top. You gotta remember the cylinder's full. Your depth gauge needs calibrating.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's got an inch and a half in it.
Okay, so that will get us by on this job anyway, and that way we can pull the pump off later on and fix that, where that, what would you call that? Just the, yeah, I can't think proper name. Anyway, next step is we got to order some U-bolts because we can't find any big enough, long enough around here. Gonna strap it down up here in the front. And then right here where these holes are drilled we're gonna make a plate and actually weld to this and then bolt it to the frame there on each side. So we need to get those measurements and all that jive.
I was gonna say, why you do all, Lindsay, like you do all the work?
Say that one more time.
Why does Lindsay make me do all the work?
Well, you gotta learn from your mistakes. So I know the last little segment I said that we was going to put U-bolts on this thing, and that would work, but we ain't got time to wait on them and all that, and we'd have to set them so far up here. The muffler would probably get in the way, and I'm afraid that it's going to stand the bed off too much. Go ahead.
I don't know if I'll take that out all the way.
And I was afraid the bed would rock out of our little holder deal there. So what we've decided, we're going to use these 3 bolts and run a plate. I'll show you on the other side. He's already got this other plate kind of where it's going to go. But we got these three bolts punched here. I'll show the video of them doing that. What? You want to cut that off?
No, it's broke off.
Huh?
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, how you think the thing slid off?
Oh. Get back on.
God almighty.
Get back on your radio.
So he went and got these made yesterday. These are going to go like this right here. Put those in there. We got some longer bolts, and then I'll weld this to that, because can weld to that better than the frame there. I'm not sure what's going on, but and back here there was already pre-punched holes in the frame, so we got another plate that we're going to add there on both sides to kind of hold it down in the back, because this right here is really not doing anything. There's not enough meat there to really hold it. So that's the plan for today, and hopefully we'll get this thing finished. Thing don't want to move, does it? Get it?
That one there's got so much pressure on it. I was afraid to run it on out. I don't know what's causing that pressure.
So Jimmy here didn't get the right bolts the first time, so we just had to go to the store and get some longer ones. When we loosened that up, I knew that frame was going to move, so we got a pry bar. We got to line that up. I got a grown man pry bar this time.
Look at there.
Much easier. Can you give me a long rope?
We took the nut off.
Where's it at? I don't know what you did with it. Alright, so we got both sides hammered in place. Now all we got to do is get our gap here situated. So what we got now is our gap. I could fill that in pretty good, but I'm probably going to bump it with an excavator, see if we can't get it over some more. But over here, did this side ever pull up any better, Jimmy? No, it's got a huge gap. Pretty big gap right here, so we may have to either go get another little piece of metal or see if we can't tack one side and try to get that gap a little more even. I also forgot too, our bed is kind of picked up a little bit. Probably just how we got it scotched and the weight's letting down. So we'll let the bed up and down and see if we can't get that a little more square and flush. So when we set the bed down, this side came over kind of to where it needs to be. So I should be able to weld that just fine. About to weld that. Jimmy's gonna get these back plates ready to weld on the other side. Probably gonna have to have a piece of metal or something on the other side there, not sure yet. Okay, so I got this one done finally. It's a lot of welding. Basically, I made 3 passes on each little run there. Kind of fill it in, blend it in as much as I could to the frame. So we'll see if Jimmy breaks that off. Then I guess it's just meant to be broke off. Okay, so we got this thing finally welded up. Maybe. What we had to do right here. Make sure it's... What we had to do right here, we had such a gap right there that we took that piece that we got off that side, that broke piece, and put in between the new plate and the frame to fill that gap up. So that's why it looks like that, but there's actually a pretty thick piece of metal in there tying the two together. Figured that was a better thing to do than to try to pull on what we already had over there. I didn't want to break the welds or whatever, but this frame is pretty well warped. I think them right there turned out pretty good. So I made 3 passes on each little run there. Here's the other side. I think it's going to be a hell of a lot better than it was. Jimmy's been down here napping the whole time.
Where's my blanket?
So what happened too is when this thing shifted, it's bent the pump, and that's why it's, because the linkage, we can't hardly get the linkage to go all the way up. And when you turn the PTO off, it's automatically coming down. So we're trying to loosen the pump up, see if we can get it twisted back around. All right, we're on the final leg. I hope we finally got this pump repositioned so the linkage wasn't hitting. This pump isn't designed to go right there, so I don't know whoever put that pump on here. This whole truck is just makeshift. We have figured out, like, this whole rail that the cylinder is connected to and the pivot point back there, all that's just pieced together. So we're just doing the best we can with it. Had to weld these. All this was broke But we finally got the pump, so it will move all the way open and close now. I know before we had to get on the gas a pretty good bit to get the cylinder to go up, and I think it was simply because we couldn't get enough stroke out of the lever there. So we retaped that, got it good. I guess we can fire it up and test it now, can't we, Jimmy?
Yep.
See, like all this was hacked out, not sure why. Like I said, all that cross member down there was already cut out. They just, I know it's got a hole. It's supposed to have a hole for things to pass through it like that one, but it was all cut out anyway. So who knows, that thing will probably break and twist and whatever not. Okay, so y'all can see we had almost another disaster. So now we've got this thing so it will travel all the way. So you can go too far when you raise the lever to make it go up. You can actually go past where I guess it's shuttling fluid in the thing there. I can't think.
I guess we're gonna have to adjust the linkage to stop that. Can we just shorten the linkage up?
I don't know.
Make it stop that?
I ain't adjusting nothing else.
You ain't adjusting nothing else?
So when we noticed our tank was collapsing as we was going up, so we may need to drill some more relief hole in that so it can suck some air. Yeah, we're gonna need probably another hole in it. Okay, y'all, I think the dump truck is about as good as it's gonna get for now. This is something that just really needed to be done. That stuff needed to be done right. I don't know if you technically call it right, but it's definitely better than what it was. This thing, I haven't done anything to it since I bought it, and it's been about 4 or 5 years now. But y'all see I hardly ever use this thing. But this thing took some abuse during that pond rebuild job. It was on its last leg anyway, and Jimmy decided to send it on over the mountain the other days. But I think we are going to be so much better off, as long as that pin don't bust out that I see is not in the best shape. But this truck was just pieced together, it looks like. Really all this needs to come off and completely redone, but like I said, I hardly ever use it. Those welds look good. Anyway, we got the pump situated better than it was. We got full travel now, so that should be good. So the only thing to do now is put it to work. All right, sorry, I'm gonna jump in here real quick and say that there's still one more thing that the dump truck desperately needs. I'm sure some of you have seen it. I'm pretty sure somebody's already in the comments going crazy letting me know what it is, but if you haven't seen it, or if you know what it is, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know. It's not going to be in this video. I'm going to try to put it in a later video, or it may wind up being a whole video by itself. I don't know. I've never done it before, but it needs to be done. We got a lot of work to do on this place, and I will show y'all that in the next video. We will be starting on it. And I was really hoping to get to play on the excavator today to finally start taking down some trees, but it's getting late and we're running out of time. Now I've got to go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama for a football game. So, not Roll Tide. I'm not a Roll Tide fan. I'm kidding. I like Alabama because they actually win, or used to win. So anyway, we're gonna call it on this one. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I appreciate y'all's support. Y'all keep your eyes open. I'll see you later.